With the housing situation here in Atlantic Beach, on
Public housing.
public housing,
Yeah, I can talk about
and
that.
talk about that one, and we'll address that issue.
Could also be a bonus issue.
Yeah,
Should be
yeah.
on my list.
Affordable housing could be a bonus issue in terms of density. Is one of the things I actually would talk about putting up there.
That was,
Yeah, that's one of the things I have to tell you about. Let me just tell you where we are. With the public housing issue that we have here, we're going to put public housing, affordable housing, should I say, not public housing, affordable housing as a density bonus and allowance. Right now, the Housing Authority is in one step of moving forward with the sale or purchase of their properties, which more than likely will probably go in the hands of being private, right, I should say. That's their goal, to take the funding and to actually place it back into the properties that are on this side of the waterway. This is a personal, I'm not talking to your manager now. I have a personal issue with concentrated housing like that in one area. What we need to consider is how do we keep our community affordable? And there are different ways to be able to do it. We do need to address the affordability issue as a part of the plan, where in fact you can either incentivize people to come in and still build affordable housing. I've seen it done different ways, where if I trade off a property that was previously for public housing or affordable use, then you have to replace it someplace else. I don't know that we've had a lot of dialogue about how we continue to create affordable housing within the town, other than the types of housing. We've talked about timeshares, we've talked about condos and things like that, but in terms of incentives, I'm not sure we've had a lot of dialogue about that. I can share with you that there is an interest when we talk about funding sources and potential funding sources, where if, for example, we use what I consider CRA money from banks, some of the concern and interest there is that we could get money to build affordable units. Now, my vision would be is that the public housing is in it's in poor shape. It would be wonderful if we could get a partnership with HUD, where in fact we could build what I consider market rate housing, and we use the affordability index by using Section 8 vouchers to keep people in that housing. It's doing the same thing with a different goal. You're getting a new housing stock, but it's affordable. It can have market rate and affordable mixed together. That would be some of my vision of how I think we address the issue of one, affordability, but at the same time addressing the poor quality of the public housing. Is HUD amenable to that? I think there's some examples that are going on in the country right now where I think with the right partner that they might in fact consider maybe tearing down the public housing and building new public-private partnerships in housing, and then in fact using Section 8 vouchers to help write down the cost of that market rate housing. So that would be my vision in terms of how we include it. I'm not necessarily a proponent for building necessarily more public housing. I think we in this community would have a hard time making that argument given the history of how we have not been able to maintain what we have. But I think a different model, I think they would be interested in listening to someone bring forth a proposal.
But can that be in a discussion with HUD? You present that to HUD?
I think I can. To be honest with you, we've had the discussion with the executive director about some other options of how we might be able to do this to keep the community affordable. So I think it's an option, but I think that's how we address the issue of affordability. Is that we have got to do something with the public housing and the housing stock, and maybe HUD would be willing to enter into a partnership with someone.
There was an article in Sunday's paper about the overabundance of condos on the market. How would that affect Atlantic Beach in reference to its revenues? If that's the route that developers are going to take. I don't know what they're going to take, but something that's for the town.
Well, let me just say, from a market perspective, as a private developer, they have to do their market studies in terms of timing. That's why I said earlier, I think where the market is in terms of condo development right now, and it's pretty slow. Is there, does that mean that you bring maybe a one-story building on and then you do future phases? I think they're gonna have to do their market studies, and I think what may have originally been proposed, some people may be reconsidering. The market is gonna drive it, unfortunately.
How would that, in reference to the town, how the town stays sustainable? Or, I mean, we all know Atlantic Beach in reference to Atlantic Beach right now. We don't want to, I hope we do not want to get back in this position again. And it takes us an eternity to get out of it.
Things are market driven. The only thing I can tell you is that we are proposing that 30th, 31st be something that's different than condos. And that would be your little commercial sector, mixed use sector that you might be able to bring something on. Hotels have a different capacity component to it, but of course, the market also affects that. I just say to you that it's not gonna happen. I think where the market is now, one of the other things I think though that drives people in condos and location to purchase is location, location, location. We've got to create something that makes Atlantic Beach different. Why would I buy here versus buying another condo in Myrtle Beach? And so that's why I think this whole issue of not just building condos on the waterfront, we have to sell a community. And I think that's what's important. And if we're selling our entertainment district and our nightlife and our restaurants and our quaint little community, I think that that sells a little bit more than just I'm going to buy another condo along the Grand Strand area. So I think all of it comes into play. Whether I can predict it or not, I can't.